UFC 307 just happened last night, and as we always do on this channel, I'm going to give you guys a complete rundown, breakdown, and real analysis of what just happened in every fight on the card. Let's get into it. You know my name, Mr. Fight Companion. Let's talk. First fight up in the early prelims. I was just in time for this fight. Court McGee versus Tim Means. Everybody in the mama had bets on Tim Means. He was the favorite. But what happened? Exactly like I said would happen. Court McGee grappled. Court McGee took Tim Means to the clinch, brought him down to the ground, and what was it? In fucking round one, gets the submission. Brought Tim Means to the ground immediately, chased that submission, and got it. I think it was a guillotine. I forgot exactly what submission it was, but Court McGee grappled. That's the bottom line of it. Tim Means is a great striker. I understand why everybody had him as their favorite, but like I said repeatedly, Court McGee is just that great of a grappler, and I think he would be able to hold his own, especially in the first few minutes of the fight, to not let Tim Means get an early fight knockout or early fight TKO. There we go. Court McGee got it done. Next up, Carla Esparza, Tessia Pennington. Carla Esparza was the favorite. I had Carla Esparza winning, so I was 1-1 after this fight because I really thought Carla was going to wrestle. She did wrestle, but she didn't strike, and she didn't strike well enough to beat Tessia Pennington. That being said, I still feel like Carla won because Carla did get some great moments, especially on the feet as well, and got takedowns and some decent control time as well. So I think that was enough, like as good of a case for Carla to win. But in the end, they gave it to Tessia Pennington. Some might say that's a robbery. I feel like it was a robbery. Another thing I want to say before I continue is that the judging on this card was completely fucking atrocious. Even worse than 306. I mean, clearly they have some really idiotic judges who don't even watch the fight to begin with. They have something to fucking work out in the UFC with the terrible judging. But moving on, I feel like that was a robbery. I think Carla Esparza won. That's just my opinion. Moving on. Ryan Spann versus OSP. This fight also went pretty much exactly like I said it was going to go. I had Ryan Spann winning. I felt like OSP is a great fighter, but OSP takes longer to adjust to his fights and to build up momentum and to adjust to his range and his striking and his rhythm and his pace. And I felt like Ryan Spann wouldn't give OSP enough time to do that and just rush, go for the finish. Ryan Spann threw everything in that fight to really finish, and he landed a nasty overhand, and it just slept OSP. And then Ryan Spann immediately went for the submission. It was crazy. But yeah. So next up after that fight, because it's Ryan Spann, OSP, I had that fight right. Next up, Cesar Almeida, Ihor Porteria. I thought, Ihor would lose this fight. I think Ihor is a fast striker, but still pretty sloppy. I consider him to be a fucking complete cornball and cartoon and goofball, and I really want to see him fight Johnny Walker. But at the end of the day, I do have to admit that this fight was refed really poorly. Ihor was kicked in the nuts, punched in the nuts a couple fucking times. I poked so many fucking times. And I think I'm going to call this one the Chris Weidman curse, where a fighter is just repeatedly getting fucking eye pokes and a ref he's not watching shit. He's not going to admit to shit. He's not, pointing anything out. He's just going to keep the fight going, even though one of the fucking fighters is getting eye poked to oblivion. Ihor was getting eye poked like a motherfucker. Cesar had his lead hand out like all the time, especially in that sequence of the fight where Ihor was just getting he was getting done dirty. Again, a lot of eye poking, nut kicking, nut punching, and Ihor had to fucking scream for like a timeout to the ref because I guess the ref is a fucking blind fool. I forgot who refed it, but really a shit job by the ref. Either way, Cesar Almeida wins. by decision because Ihor spent a lot of that fight fucking whining for a timeout. Rightfully so, but still, Ihor could have been putting in work. Decided not to. Caesar wins. It is what it is. Next up, Austin Hubbard, Alexander Hernandez. I had Austin Hubbard winning this fight. I thought, Austin's grappling is great, his striking is great. I felt like he's a real guy that likes to go to war. And he's fighting Alexander Hernandez, who I feel like has great energy and a good style too. I feel like, he was an up-and-comer until the whole fucking Cowboy Cerrone thing where Cowboy fought him and he disrespected Cowboy and then Cowboy ended up whooping his ass. But he's pretty much back. I think he's got a style very similar to Henry Cejudo, or at least his foot stance is, and the way he moves in and out of the pocket. He's got really sharp 1-2s and long arms for his height, and he was able to utilize all that against Austin Hubbard, basically just sniping him with the 1-2s a lot. Austin Hubbard looked fucking confused as fucking there, really non-committed, didn't want to commit on anything specific. His striking looked weird. Grappling looked weird. I think he tried to take Alexander Hernandez down like fucking 10 or 11 times and failed every single one of them. Pretty shit performance from Austin Hubbard. I was expecting a lot more. The only like credit I could give Austin Hubbard is that he lasted the full fight. That's really it. Still, it was a split decision, and it is what it is. But I think Alexander Hernandez pretty much clearly won that fight, especially with the sharp 1-2s he was hitting in and out of the pocket. He had really nice movement and a really good pace last night. So great on Alexander Hernandez. Next up, Marina Rodriguez versus Yasmin Lucindo. I had 2 fights wrong after that, but yeah, I had Yasmin Lucindo beating Marina Rodriguez, and that's basically what happened. Marina Rodriguez was able to land some stuff, I think a couple jabs, but other than that, Yasmin Lucindo outclassed her on the feet and on the ground. She was able to bring Marina Rodriguez to the ground and work there. She was also able to work up top. She really did some textbook things that the shorter fighter is supposed to do against a taller fighter. Her overhands were really sharp and landed pretty much a lot. She just really caught the taller fighter in a lot of situations that were, again, bad for the taller fighter. So really great on Yasmin Lucindo. I'd like to see what she does in the future. Marina Rodriguez, still up and comer, still a great striker. Think she's got to step up that ground game, but we'll see what happens. Next up, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Joaquin Buckley. This fight was, a really, really good fight. I looked forward to it. I liked it. Joaquin Buckley, I feel like, was in a bit of trouble only in the first round. Stephen Thompson looked really sharp. Joaquin Buckley was getting takedowns, though, and I felt like, the more he got, the more that would add up, and the better the case for him in front of the judges is. But, Thompson still looked good. His kicks looked really sharp, especially for his older age. And then eventually, I don't know if it was the takedowns or the pace, but Buckley was able to catch Thompson in round 3. I think because, the fight was Buckley, what Buckley was doing was rushing in a lot of the time with these heavy overhands and hooks, and they looked beautiful and they landed. Buckley looked really, really sharp in this fight. And in round 3, he rushed in for another, handful of overhands, and it looked like Wonderboy was like instinctually trying to kick him away, so he dropped his hands, and then once he dropped his hands against the cage, Joaquin fucking went in, something fucking heavy like this, and clipped Wonderboy right on the fucking chin, slept him. Good night. That's a win for Buckley. He looks great. He called out Usman. I don't like that he called out Usman. I don't think Usman's a great matchup for him, but we'll see what happens. I think Usman still has skill left. I don't think his age or his cooked knee has caught up to him. So I still like to see. I think that fight will be interesting, but I don't know if Buckley made the right decision by calling him out. But we'll see. Next up, finally in the main event, Ketlen Vieira, Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison, I had her. The whole world probably had her in this fight. But, hey, Ketlen Vieira stepped up. She was aware of the takedown threat, of the judo threat, and she used every tool at her disposal to avoid the takedown threat, and she did pretty well. Kayla Harrison was still able to take her down a couple times and do some work while on the ground with some heavy elbows. But at the end of the day, I feel like Ketlen Vieira you know, proved her stuff. She did cause like a welt to grow on the forehead of Kayla Harrison too with her striking. And now we see like a weakness of Kayla Harrison, which is her striking, which, I mean, you could kind of guess, you know, with her coming into the UFC. She's a judo 2-time gold medalist. So, you know, she's great with the ground game, but, you know, up top, she's got to learn. She's got to cultivate and grow with striking. So, you know, that is now a presented weakness. And if she goes on to fight Pena, I don't know. I think she would have had a harder time with Pennington, because I think Pennington is a better striker than Pena. So I think Pennington would have been able to beat Kayla up more. So I think Kayla has a good chance of beating Pena, because Pena's striking, while okay, is not. I don't think it's as great as Pennington was. And to beat Kayla Harrison, I think you really have to have a good jab and keep her at bay with that. And I don't know if Pena has a incredible jab. I think it's okay. So I think Kayla Harrison has a budding chance of beating Juliana Pena. Next up, middleweight bout, Roman Dolidze, Kevin Holland. I don't know what the fuck happened here, man. I had Kevin Holland in this fight. And Kayla Harrison also beat Veda. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, the takedowns and the ground and pound, I guess, won the fight, and Kayla Harrison won that. But next up, Roman Dolidze, Kevin Holland. I don't know what the hell happened, man. I had Kevin Holland winning. I thought Kevin Holland was going to utilize those long, rangy 1-2s and, you know, the damaging crosses he's got, and then just kind of land clean on the chin of Roman Dolidze. Instead, once Roman was in a little bit of trouble, he went to the grappling, which I knew he would do, took Kevin to the ground, and then Kevin tried to fucking scramble out of it, but as soon as he tried to do so, his legs kind of went to his head, and he kind of pretzeled himself. And I guess a rib popped out when that happened, because as soon as he pretzeled himself, Kevin looked to be in excruciating pain, grabbing his side. He somehow survived the ground and pound of Roman Dolidze in round 1. But, you know, as soon as he got up when the round was finished, grabbed his side, excruciating pain, started screaming curse words and hollering. And his coach decided to then call the fight, because apparently Roman fucking fucked up Holland somehow, accidentally, while they were grappling. And that was that. Roman wins via I don't know, coach stoppage or whatever. They say KO, but I wouldn't consider that a KO. It's a stoppage. You know, Kevin Holland did essentially quit. So that's what happened, you know. Still fucked up, but Roman wins. I don't think Roman wins the right way, but he wins. He wins. Kevin quit. He wins. It's whatever. Fuck it. Really shit performance with Kevin Holland. Next up, Jose Aldo, Mario Bautista. I feel like this was the most controversial fight of the night. Jose Aldo, I had Jose Aldo winning. I felt like he was going to win the exchanges and not let Mario Bautista wrestle. And in a way, he did not let Mario Bautista wrestle. You can't really do much when you're trying to fight in the clinch, but Mario Bautista went to the clinch fucking repeatedly. And overall, for this segment of the video, it's really fuck Mario Bautista. Mario Bautista is a piece of shit. You know, he is blatantly stalling the fight, constantly going for takedowns, constantly holding Jose Aldo up against the cage to stall in the clinch. He's just essentially stalling, didn't really do fucking anything. Jose Aldo was winning the exchanges, especially later in the fight. So because of that, Mario decided to just fucking grab on to Jose Aldo and force him to stand still for minutes on end. Really shit performance from Mario Bautista, and somehow the drug-infused judges decided to give the fight to Mario Bautista. Bullshit. Jose Aldo won. Mario Bautista is a fucking asshole, and then at the end of the fight, he decided to fucking double down and say that it wasn't his problem for constantly trying to hold Jose Aldo up against a cage in the clinch and do fucking nothing. The reffing was bad too. I think Mike Beltran was reffing this one. He should have fucking stepped in, broke them up, and let the fucking fight continue. Absolute bullshit. Really pissed off because of that. Fucking so oh fuck, man. Aldo should have won. Aldo should have won. He won that fight. Aldo should challenge for the bantamweight belt still. Next up, again, judging absolutely poor. Fucking terrible judges, drug infused. This whole card was really just fucking judged terribly. There were a couple scorecards that I didn't mention on some of these fights that were absolutely fucking wild. Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena. This fight was back and forth pretty much. I think, round 5 was the decision maker. But in the end, I think Raquel Pennington won because of her striking. But the grappling of Juliana Pena seemed to weigh more in the eyes of the judges. And that's what I'm saying, and that's what I have to stress to you guys. Grappling is making a comeback, I guess, or it's making it stand. And now judges are weighing grappling more because Juliana grappled earlier in the fight, and Raquel Pennington spent fucking round 5 punching Juliana's face off, and somehow they gave it to Pena. So, I don't know. The judging is fucking egregious. Juliana Pena gets the belt now. She's called out Amanda Nunes. Who knows if Amanda Nunes will come back? I think she will. And I guess they're going to fight, and Kayla Harrison will have to take a back seat and basically do what Tom Aspinall does and just take a back seat. Next up, our main event, Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree. Man, I'm proud of Khalil. All I have to say is I'm proud of Khalil. I had Khalil winning in round 5, and the fight went to round 4, I'm proud of him. He's gone longer than most fighters have. Israel Adesanya remains the only man to knock this guy out or to just beat this guy. And Khalil Rountree falls in the 4th. He gets battered by Alex Pereira. There were some troubling moments for Pereira. Khalil did drop Pereira once when he went for like a kick or some shit. I forgot what Pereira tried to do, but he missed it and then whiffed and then spun, and then Khalil caught him coming in. But Alex recovered, went back to what he trained to do, and basically battered Khalil. That jab of Pereira looks really nice and powerful too now. Pereira is just adding weapons to his arsenal. He's only becoming greater. He's only improving. Khalil Rountree looked good. Respect to him. He looked amazing. I think, he's still got the semblance of a future at light heavyweight. And he did what he set out to do. He was on the billboards. He was on the brightest lights. He was there. He was on center stage. I'm so proud of him. And then, again, for Alex Pereira, this guy is a fucking monster, and he only becomes more of one. After this fight, he looks incredible. My head was glued to the screen trying to hear what Alex wants to do next, because I'm intrigued as fuck as to what he wants to do, because he's got a future at all 3 weight classes: middleweight, light heavy, and heavy. He could go down to middleweight, challenge Dricus. He could stay at light heavyweight and just basically own light heavyweight for years, or he could move up and challenge Tom Aspinall and John Jones for a 3rd championship belt, which would definitely put him in top 5 GOAT range, if he's not there already. But yeah, Alex ended up saying that he feels good at light heavyweight. I think he will stay. I think what's next for Alex said he wants to take a little break because of how hard he went for this fight camp. Well deserved. I think what's next for Alex is definitely Magomed Ankalaev. Magomed is fighting Rakic soon, and I believe Magomed will fucking skate right through Rakic and call for the belt, call for Alex. He's been tweeting about fucking Alex all week now. So I think the Magomed Ankalaev Alex Pereira fight is the next one to make, and I believe Alex Pereira clips Magomed Ankalaev in the 1st round. I'm done choosing against this guy. I'll only choose against him again if he fights John Jones or Tom Aspinall. Everybody else is practically fucking cooked. This guy is too damn good. He's too damn powerful. He's too damn strong. Too damn focused. Too damn relentless for anybody in the whole fucking organization except for John Jones and Tom Aspinall. Love this guy. He's doing great. Powerful win. I think he fights Magomed Ankalaev next. I think it will be a good fight. I don't think Magomed is swearing up and down that he won't try to wrestle. I think he will try to wrestle. He will try to grapple. I think he will be unsuccessful. I think Alex will catch him with something. And I can't give you a prediction if Alex fights Dricus yet, because I have to really, really, really look at that shit. But for now, Alex has a bright future. Proud of Khalil Rountree. He went hard. He dropped Alex. He did a lot, and he made it to round 4. So that's a lot to be said for him. When comparing him to guys like Jamal Hill or Yuri Prohaska. So love what Khalil Rountree did. Love what Alex Pereira did. Overall, the card was fucking poorly fucking reffed and poorly judged. I hope this shit doesn't continue for the later fights, because if it does, and I'll end the video on this message, if it does, I want to say something directly to Max Holloway. Not that I don't know if it'll, you know, spiritually, I want to say some shit to Max Holloway. Max, because of the judging on this card, make sure you fucking damn well finish Ilia Topuria. Because if Ilia holds you up against the cage for more than fucking 2 minutes, it doesn't matter if you fucking batter Ilia for the rest of that fight. They'll give it to Ilia. The judging is getting increasingly fucking worse. The UFC has to fix something with this, because if they don't, Ilia has a strong chance of winning if he decides to use even the smallest amount of fucking grappling. But yeah, knock that motherfucker out. I don't think Max Holloway will. I think Ilia beats Max, but I hope Max wins. I don't want Ilia to win. I hate what he did to Volkanovski, and I want to see vengeance for it. So I hope Max wins, but my money is on Ilia Topuria. So it is what it is. Great card still. Loved every UFC card. Got to be thankful for him. And we're having a good month because we got 2 big ass UFC fights this month. This was one of them. The next one is Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria, and everybody else on the card is fucking amazing too. I think the Kamzat fight is on that card too against Robert Whittaker. But yeah, great fight coming up. Love y'all. See y'all in the next. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, like, comment. Love you guys. See y'all soon.